That is lyric.
That is lyric.
Well, wow.
Wow.
It is the right lyric. Everything all of the time is the lyric.
Okay. Can I interest you in everything all of the time?
Oh, bear with me. Well, I always make the same mistake at the start of streams.
Yeah.
I have the stream open in my browser.
Oh yeah.
And I forget that it's open in the browser, and we start, and
Does it scare you?
it kind of the stream from a few seconds ago layers on top, and I'm like and then the stream catches it, and then it's like
Yeah.
it's awful, terrible.
Confusing. There was that one game that people used to play, like it was a big thing a while back. What was it? Where you have those headphones that talk back to you, basically. That's a really bad explanation. It repeats what you say, is what I'm trying to say. And then it's really hard to talk. Speech jammer.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
It becomes like that.
I feel like Discord, my experience in Discord servers for the last few years has just been literally that. Like if you're in like servers for certain fandoms and in certain projects, people don't listen to each other.
Well, felt. Absolutely.
Yeah. I know that you'll have experienced this because, Wish, you're pretty considerate. So you'll let other people talk.
I try.
Yeah, totally. I think you're really kind. But the kind of negative impact of that is that when you have something that you want to say, you don't get to say it because there's so many other people. Yeah.
And then the opportunity to say what you want to say goes by and you can't say it again, and you just have to live with that information that you're sitting on for the rest of your life.
I mean, I always forget of it. I'm just like, I wanted to say something, but I forgot.
That too.
Yeah.
There are several experiences that come out from this.
Yes. Several vivid memories. Suppress their memories. Right. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
We're just talking freaking Discord. I was going to say talking rude word, but we are still undecided as to whether vulgar language is allowed.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Welcome back to the Fandom Lives.
Wow,
Holy moly. With special guest. Oh my goodness. WishfulVixen.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh.
Hello.
I hope my mic doesn't decide if I'm being too loud or something, and then it's like, nah, you're not talking.
If anything, you're a bit quiet. Let me turn you up.
Oh. Hello.
That's a little bit better.
Yay. Hurrah.
I might. Yeah. It's coming through loud and clear off my PC, but it's a bit quiet on the
stream.
I'll stream here, so let me just turn you up a touch on the volume mixer. Say something else. That was classic. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's what I do. Great.
Hope
you guys are doing all right. Hello, Noki-chan. Hello, Layla Graham. Hello, Tevin Daniels. Hope you guys are all right. Tevin Daniels. Let me tell you something about Tevin Daniels, okay?
Yes, tell us.
Never met the guy, girl.
Ah.
Androgynous. But I'm sure that they're fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. God bless you.
This entity
that has joined us. Such immeasurable power. I sensed it as soon as they stepped into the space. Welcome to the stream.
This is what it's gonna be like.
This is what it's gonna be like for the next hour. Oh my goodness.
We're not getting anywhere. Sit tight, folks.
Yeah. Welcome. Hope you guys are all right. Hello, Erica. Just a few pre-stream announcements before we dive straight into our little soiree. Thank you for joining us. It's a small group, but it's intimate. Thank you, everybody. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Do feel free to jump onto chat. I'm monitoring it through Streamlabs OBS. Wish you might want to monitor it through YouTube.
The stream?
Yeah, through the stream on YouTube.
I'm doing my best.
Yeah. Thank you. Do jump in. If you guys want to share any ideas, any thoughts, any questions, then that's great. We will happily receive them. Do take a look in the links below in the description for our merch. which is still on sale on. Is it still called Teespring or is it called Spring? I feel like it. Don't know. I think it's still Teespring. But yeah, there's a face mask, there's hoodies, there's lots of great stuff. Come and say hi, and do avail yourself of the opportunity to purchase something new. Oh, hang on. I wanted to
spend that summer money.
I wanted to send this to Thingy. Yeah, cool. Sorry, I just wanted to share that to a certain server. It's a continual rush, this series, because sometimes we have a schedule of of lined up guests, and we have people that we have on, and we book them a few weeks in advance. Sometimes people pull out, and thank you so much, Wish, because you're jumping in to cover for someone who we did have originally scheduled, and you've been very gracious and agreed to cover. But I'm also in the process of communicating with other content creators in the Undertale fandom to get them on the stream. If you guys have any ideas, do let us know. Jump into the chat. Any suggestions, any connections, let us know, and we'll get the people that you want on the stream to appear on the stream. Cool.
Yeah.
We are going to also head to the TwoAllNighters fan server. You can set yourself. I think there's a link to the Discord in the description below. I think so. Come and say hi. We're going to jump into the fan server to play a game of some description after the stream. Yeah. Cool. Probably Gartic Phone, Among Us. I have
Among Us would be fun.
Among Us would be fun. Yeah, nothing more fun than brutal murder of one's friends.
Of course.
So yeah. Also, yes, I want to say thank you to 2 people for what you are currently experiencing on the screen. Well, first, I guess 3 people, including Toby Fox, for developing Deltarune Chapter 1, which is what we're going to be playing through in the background while we're talking, just for the sake of having something on the screen for you. Thank you, Wish. You are my guest tonight, but you're also the contributor of so much artwork this year. Oh my goodness. The picture of me that you can see jumping up whenever I talk on the right, and Wish's. I guess,
wow!
Yeah, that I'm still not quite over the neatness of this little thing. But thank you so much for contributing so much artwork for this little mechanic and helping me to learn how these all work. And there was a really neat little video you sent me a little while, a few months back, and it's been really helpful. So thank you.
No worries. Yeah. I'm glad to help.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's useful for anything, at least.
It is valuable to the team, and we appreciate your credit to team.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And also thank you to Nick Nitro for helping with the music in the intro and outro sequences that you're about to see.
Yeah.
Cool. Any opening arguments, thoughts, reflections, rotations, enlargements?
Arguments.
From WishfulVixen.
I didn't realize this would be a battle.
Yes, we are about to go into verbal battle.
Uh-oh. Da-da-da-da. Play the intro.
I was Oh, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Fandom Lives. Oh my god. I love that. I love the way that you say that. It doesn't make me sound creepy at all. Thank you for that.
No, totally.
No. Great.
Not like the character you voiced.
Oh no. Ah. Has Papyrus been a creep the whole time?
No.
Oh wait, no. We are gonna talk about that. Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I am excited. I'm terrified.
No. Me too. Oh mine. Now I'm getting all nervous again. Oh. That's fine. We're okay. We're okay.
You're doing good.
Welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that. Wishful Vixen, located to my left, your left. Welcome back. We've got some Deltarune in the background here that I'm just going to be playing through. I'm probably going to die a fair amount because I'm not really concentrating on the gameplay. It's just something for your viewing pleasure, really.
Pleasure.
David is asking us to get Zala, which is a interesting point. Just keep an eye on just keep your finger on the pulse on that one.
Finger on the pulse. Yes.
Erica's asking, what's everyone's Undertale character favorite? I got to be honest. We've been asked that on the stream a few times, but Wish, any thoughts?
That's a hard one because, on one hand, it should be obvious that I'm a huge Sans simp.
Yes.
This is not a secret.
Yes.
I think besides Sans, I'd say it's Kara actually, or Ralse is. No wait, that's Deltarune. That doesn't count. Never mind.
Meh. Is it all under the same umbrella? Is Undertale connected to Deltarune? That's the question that we're waiting for Toby to ask, isn't it?
True.
I mean, it would be remiss of me not to mention a certain Skellybone. No.
Papyrus! Oh my god.
You're gonna eat Papyrus! Wow, why don't we just spike that again? No, I'm kidding. Dave's favourite Undertale character is me.
Ooh.
Because you are an Undertale character. Yeah.
Blair out here.
Yeah.
Calling me out.
Oh.
Alright. I came here to have a good time and I'm honestly feeling really attacked right now. I'm just kidding.
Cool. Thank you for your question. Keep the questions coming in, friends.
Questions.
Maybe it's worth kind of just breaking the ice, as it were, and just summarizing you, Wish, because you are the guest of honor today. Okay. Do you mind talking us through, just in case there's anyone in who doesn't know, who are you? Mm-hmm. How have you? What are you doing at the moment, contributing to the fandom in general, or maybe just we're talking about creativity in a more general sense, aren't we? So, who are you, and what the devil do you do?
Oh gosh. Well, I am WishfulVixen, as by the title you can see.
Indeed.
And my avatar is being a fox.
Yes.
How do I do this? This is weird. I don't talk about myself like this.
Oh, okay.
I make London Tale, which is a webcomic. How do I explain it? It's basically what would happen if the Undertale characters got out of the underground, despite several changes to the timeline, and how they cope living in society with humans.
And it's set in New York City.
Yes, obviously.
Yeah. No, I mean, hang on. Let me just clear this up. So, London Tale. Mm-hmm. Is that because you live in London?
I lived in London for... How many years did I live in London? My memory fades from me at every moment.
Oh, okay.
I think it 2014 must have been when I went there, and then so 2 years.
Okay.
I lived in nearer to the center of London, and then me and my little brother moved out to was it Camden?
Camden,
I don't remember.
I know Camden. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so you're obviously British.
Of course, crumpets and tea. Crumpets and tea. No.
Okay. Okay. That's. I'm feeling a little bit, attacked, but that's fine. The fact that I like
No, it's
crumpets and
okay.
tea does not automatically mean that I go. It's true. I go around every day screaming it to high heaven. The people around.
So does Blair.
You know, there's a daily ritual at 5 p.m. where everybody in England comes out of their houses, approaches the nearest person and screams crumpets and tea. And COVID has been hard because we've not really been able to do that.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's not the cacophony, the beautiful melody of people screaming crumpets and tea
indeed.
all over.
It's been hard. It's really been hard. And I thank you for your understanding. No. So no, so
Blair's mad at
you lived in London for a couple of years. So it must have made like quite a big impression on you for you to have set your webcomic there.
Yeah, because actually I lived in a lot of places growing up, but I always like heard stories about how like London and United States and Australia, I think was the last one, but not as prominent. But Blair, shush, don't cancel me. Um, uh, London and America were always like the go-to places in comics and stories and all that. So I used to like, I guess they were already in my head. And then when I moved there, I was like, I understand. I can speak the language. I know what people are saying. Things like that. And I really genuinely enjoyed living there for a while, but I had to leave. It was too expensive.
It's really, really expensive. Like, it's not just London, it's the south of England as well. That's where I live.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
I mean, you get by. Like, I'm quite fortunate in that I work in a place that I get accommodation provided. They take their pound of flesh. Like, I'm working
Jesus.
most days of the week, every week, except for the summer. Hashtag teachers.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Do you know I'm a teacher? You know I'm a teacher, right?
I do, but I keep forgetting. And like every time you mention it, I'm like, oh right, you teach, you interact with children on a daily basis. How do you survive?
It's a good question. I'm not sure what the answer is. Oh, Titan, happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Thank you for joining us. Wow. Hope you have a wonderful day, and that you get a PS5.
Ooh.
Oh, have I set the bar too high?
Maybe. I don't know how much PS5 costs.
64,000 monies.
Oh.
That's a lot of monies.
I only have 3.
Oh. Cusses.
No, I'm kidding.
Well, for you,
Actually, I don't know how much.
I'll cut you a deal. You can have 2 PS5s for 3 monies.
Woo!
Wow!
That's a bargain!
Erica's asking, what did you think of America? So obviously we talked about London. You lived in America for a bit, is that right?
Actually, I've never been in London. I mean, America before.
Oh, okay.
I want to, but I can't because it's really expensive, and also I've been avoiding it because of the carrot that's been residing there for some time.
I don't know what you mean. Okay.
There it is.
Oh no.
The infamous.
It's fine. Like, listen. History as a way of like repeating itself. People actually think that like current times are unprecedented, but actually, everything that's going on right now is it's happened before, and
you're right.
Humanity has gotten through it, and actually progress has been made, and
that's true.
There's lots of reasons to feel really, really positive, even if it doesn't feel like there should be. I totally believe that.
I
Anyway.
agree with that. Actually, oops. Stream is buffering a little bit for me, but don't worry about it.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes, I'm not sure if it's for everyone or if it's just me. It could be just me, but
okay. Can I get people in chat to check the stream? Is it streaming properly? I'm not getting any drop frames from.
Oh yeah, it was just my stupid internet. Don't worry.
Okay.
Gosh darn it. Yeah. What the heck? I will never get a PS5 for 34 cents. Yeah, it's okay. Me neither.
Again,
I still have a PS3.
It's a hard bargain. It's a PS3 is fine. I got the PS4 just because you can stream Netflix and all that stuff in it. But okay.
Wow.
So London Tale, is London Tale like the first big project that you've been involved in, or did you have any experience beforehand?
project. Actually, I have been making comics probably. How long has it been? I think it was middle school when I started making comics, and I've just been making them as much as possible since. And I don't know if it's the first big project, but oh, actually, yeah, there was a Pokemon fan comic called Wishful Crown, which is not where I got my username from. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Um, are you sure about that? There's a similarity there.
There's a slight similarity, but I assure you it's completely coincidental. No, I'm kidding. I did actually get it from that. Actually, my username used to be like Wolf's Wish, and then Starlink's Wish, and then WishfulVixen. Because, like, God, I don't know what I was thinking. But the team was like, it's a Fennekin that can use magic, blah, blah, blah. That was the first big one that I used to write, like, 60 pages a month for.
Oh wow.
And I was like, I was in deep, but due to some complications, I haven't really been able to keep up with it. Then I started London Tale to like work on humans and cities and things like that, and also just to like, I always consider like if I make a comic about this subject that I'm hyperfixated on, then I can put it to rest and move on to the next important thing. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
No, yeah, that's cool. So you're, I guess that means you're intending to see through London Tale before moving on
Yeah.
to something new. I mean, I'm aware that you do so much more than just London Tale, though.
Yeah, I get, but that's
you're-
what this stream is about.
Yeah,
Cool.
you're involved in so many other bits and pieces. You do art commissions, which means you're continually taking work from people. You've done work for me in the past. I'm very grateful to you for that. You've done lots
no
of
worries.
stuff for TwoAllNighters, namely, the Fandom Lives. You've been
Boing,
really
boing.
helpful for stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's
Thank you.
really exciting to see how active you are, and also like I'm a bit biased here, Wish. But London Tale is
Oh,
a
yeah?
really cool comic. If you're in the chat and you haven't read London Tale yet, you totally should. It's superb. It's really, really well done.
Thank you.
It might be worth talking a little bit more about it, actually, without giving too much away.
Oh,
There are themes in it. How comfortable are you talking about like the themes of London Tale?
I can talk about it. It's I'm just worried like I'll try not to be too explicit if I have to avoid stuff, but generally speaking, London Tale is half based on personal experiences and half based on like anecdotes from other people I've met. Generally living in London, things like that. But also just exploring the characters in a setting that they're not familiar with. So, how do I explain this? London Tale takes place, like, it's basically when Frisk would have originally... No, wait, that's not right. The timeline's a mess, because there's a lot of time shenaniganery going on.
Okay.
That I'm a little confused myself, but the general consensus is that the main story of Undertale didn't happen the way you think it would have happened.
Okay.
And then, due to this change, there has been an alternate path where the monsters got out without Frisk.
I see.
So,
okay.
Yeah, they don't know Frisk.
Okay. I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Like, I mean, I think it's neat to formulate the idea of a fan comic that plays off the expectations of the fans of the original IP. So, like, you're using the fact that people have played through the game and obviously have a set of expectations as to how things are going to go, and obviously to play with that and to twist things around a little bit so that things aren't quite as they would expect them to be. It's actually really neat. Like when it's done well, and I can definitely see through the threads of the comic that have been released so far. lots of groundwork, lots of
Oh,
gorgeous artwork, and lots of intrigue, lots of interest
thank
and
you.
reasons to be like invested into what's going to happen next. It's really, really
Bless.
cool. How do you
Thank
do it?
you.
How do you do it? Like,
Oh God.
talk me through, like, how do you go from having this vision of what you want to happen in the comic appear on the freaking software in front
Paper.
of you? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's oh boy, it's a little different for every comic and every page. Um, I had well, at first, like, you have the idea, obviously. You flesh it out a little bit so that you're not driving in the dark or shooting in the dark, I guess is the more accurate word. Um, but then essentially I base a lot of my artwork based on just how I think something should feel. I have a little bit of training in art because I went to animation university for some time. Animation university. I was trying to get a BA in animation at some point, so I do have some training. But
right,
I'm
yeah.
not very good at reasoning when
Oh.
it comes to art.
What does that mean? Can you be a bit more specific? What does reasoning mean?
A lot of people, like, when they do art, they're like, okay, so we need perspective. We're gonna do it in this way, where you draw two lines to the center of the page where the landscape ends or where the horizon basically fades away. I
Okay.
can't do that.
Oh, it's like perspective.
Yeah, like, well, that's just an example. Is there's a technicality to it.
Yeah.
You, which you have to learn in order to do things, properly, or rather, it's just a easier way to do it. But it's basically why I struggle with math so much is because, like, it requires a formula, and that formula is basically the way, like, art teachers teach you how to do perspective lines and
Okay. Yeah.
how, like, art teachers tell you you have to do this in order to get this. And as a person who is horrible at math to the point where it's a phobia, probably, the that kind of stuff doesn't work in my head. I don't know why. Might be ADHD. I've heard there is object permanence stuff to do with it, but essentially, reason is rarely a, like, factor in how I draw, because I'm like, okay, this feels correct.
Yeah.
The way I draw it, it's like, this person is supposed to be upset. How can I best represent that emotion, and does it resonate with me in a way that will make sense to others? And I've just had to find a way to draw that.
Yeah.
In a roundabout way,
Noki.
because I'm sure there's easier ways.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. I'm assuming that you finished. Let me know if that's not the case.
Yeah, basically.
That's really interesting to get some insight into your creative process, particularly like the feeling, the emotion that you want to portray guides you more than any formula does.
Yeah.
Speaking as a maths teacher, that makes a lot of sense, because obviously you
cool.
want to be able to, like, convey something that will connect with people, and that is the primary goal. And I would argue that you do achieve that.
Oh, sick. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm again a little bit biased, but that's what I think.
Nah, don't worry about it.
Noki is asking, Undertale fan, the fandom lives. I hope so.
The fandom lives.
The fandom lives. Noki is asking, I've gotten into digital art. I want to try to do comics. How much time does it take you to finish a full comic page? That's really cool. Great question.
Usually it depends, because again, I do have this mental condition. I'm not sure if it's disorder or condition. I can't remember, but sometimes it takes me like 2 days, because I can't concentrate, or for whatever reason that page is just so boring to me. I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes it can, like, if I can really just buckle down and focus, it'll take me like an hour, 2 hours just to finish it up from start to finish.
Okay. But then sometimes it can take you, what,
Yeah.
I mean, is there a matter of motivation here at work, do you think?
Motivation is I do my like hardest to not depend on motivation because it's fleeting.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's like I just get frustrated with my own inabilities sometimes because, like I said, I don't think about it in the same way as others do. Like, uh, there's the issue with uh, sometimes I just can't figure out what I'm supposed to do with a certain panel or some pose that like logically makes sense, but for some reason I can't make it look sensible.
Okay. Okay. So sometimes you come up against something that's quite difficult for you to pull off in the way that you want.
Yeah, or just like I can't comprehend it for some reason.
Okay.
My brain can't process it in a normal way, so I have to fight with it until I figure out like what's bothering me about it, and then I can continue, which is why sometimes it takes a little longer than usual. Sometimes I'm just like, oh god, it's hot in my room and I don't want to do anything.
Oh, nice. Nice save. Nice save.
Try.
You did good. Do you think there's a connection between this stuff, like when you're coming up against something that you're struggling with, and what we were talking about earlier, with your teacher saying, well, there's some elements of sort of mathematical thinking or logical thinking that can help you, but obviously that's not what comes naturally to you.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a connection there?
Uh, I hate that I have to keep bringing that I keep bringing up ADHD all the time, but it's like since I got diagnosed, everything makes sense because of it. But there's a lot of factors in ADHD which give people like object permanence issues where they can't remember where certain things are, or they forget where they put things because as soon as it's out of sight, it's out of mind. There's
Yeah, totally.
like the math function, I guess, in our brain doesn't work the same way. I think it's called neurodivergence. Essentially, is that our head is wired completely different, not completely, but generally pretty differently than a neurotypical brain.
Yeah.
So we process things in a way that doesn't make sense to the normal teaching curriculum, and it doesn't help the way we learn.
Okay. Within the traditional sort of academic structure that's imposed on everybody for completely arbitrary reasons, right?
Yeah, basically. And you basically just learn to deal with it because like I didn't get diagnosed until I was like 24. So I was living with it. I was like, okay, I'm just an idiot, so I'll just power through it and figure out things on my own. And what was the question? Wait.
I guess the question was, is there a connection between the issues that you have when you're finding a particular image or a particular panel difficult and this issue you have with accessing mathematics? I guess you're telling me yes?
Yes, it's basically...
that the ADHD is kind of contributing to that.
Yeah, because, I mean, I'm a kinetic learner, is basically, for anyone who doesn't know, someone who has to do things in order to learn them physically. So, if I had to do math, for instance, I would be able to function better if I had, like, pictures of the numbers that I could just move around with my hands. That I could function much better using that.
Sure. Oh man, yeah. So the three main letters are VAK, right? Visual, audio, and kinesthetic.
Yeah.
Some kids will just need to kind of hear it and see it, and they'll be able to get it. And I'm fortunate to work at a school where a lot of kids are just able to pick it up very quickly because they're switched on. You know, their brains are wired to sort of take that logical information and just be able to process it.
Yeah.
Obviously, not everybody I teach is like that. And I guess the challenge that I have is to do things like what you've just suggested there, to give kind of more aids to visualization and stuff. And actually, in some ways, sorry, I'm going to finish this, but in some ways, lockdown has been useful for that because you can use technology to do that within reason. But yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, we could talk about education for a while, but like, yeah, do you have anything else you want to add?
Basically that the way I can get out of a situation when I'm having trouble drawing is generally like just there are like sources online where you can get models or something like that, and then just mess with those models until it makes sense in my head, and then that pose or that environment suddenly makes a lot more sense, and it's easier to get through it.
Sure. Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. Do you use any specific software for that?
Clip Studio is my go-to when I draw, so I draw everything on there, and it has a built-in model tool, so you can like not rig, but like just get a model onto your page and then move it around how you need it to be moved. Okay. And stuff like that, so it's very handy.
Yeah. Carpo has very kindly contributed a question. Sorry, guys, we're trying to get through these questions. Thank you for bearing with us. If you stick around,
yeah, sorry, I tend to ramble.
No, that's fine. I think this is fascinating. Carpo's asking, how do you prevent people from stealing your art? Have you ever had a context where that's happened? How do you handle it?
It happens a lot. You can't prevent it. Unfortunately, it's something that will always happen, but the best way you can deal with it is just go to them, tell them to take it down, or you will report them. There's literally no, nothing else you can do besides tell them to do what you want them to do and have them either take it down or tell somebody to help. Because people will always steal your art, and they will find ways to, like, even if you watermark it, they'll find ways to remove the watermark if they have even a modicum of motivation.
Yeah.
But I guess the only foolproof way is just slap a huge watermark over the entire thing, but that comes at a cost of people not really seeing the art you want them to see.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Man. So do you, like, when you say, like, you're going to report them, you're saying it's happened quite often. Is it like, like, moderators? So you're posting to Tumblr, right?
Tumblr or DeviantArt, but
DeviantArt, yeah.
Usually, I don't know the moderators, but you can usually send a complaint form that says, this person is infringing on my copyright, and I would like their piece taken down, or if they refuse, then to ban them, I guess, because I am ruthless with copyright infringers.
It makes sense. You want to protect the stuff that you're creating. Totally.
Yeah.
Do you think it's fair to say that you feel pretty protective of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just every artist is protective, because that's kind of what you learn immediately when you're on the internet and doing art or anything of that sort, is that you protect your property with your life. Because if somebody else sees it somewhere else, then basically it's taking opportunity away from you, and it's already difficult enough trying to make it out there as a creator without, like, people taking your art, claiming it's theirs, and getting the opportunities that you would have gotten had somebody seen it on your own page.
Absolutely. I guess this kind of connects to, well, to some degree, like, the big question, right? We were talking about this actually earlier on before the stream started. We've both watched a special by a comedian called Bill Burnham. And one of the main themes, there's lots of themes in it. It's a fantastic work. It's very weird and very wonderful. And one of the themes is about creating content online.
Yeah.
And
can I interest you in everything all of the time?
Yeah. Yeah, my God. So, like, I watched this and I immediately felt a connection, because I was like, hey, this is the stuff that I wanted to talk about on the Fandom Lives.
Yeah.
So the big question for you is kind of connected to what we've been talking about with regards to you're feeling protective of your work. You also want to be recognized as the work's creator. and you deserve to
Yeah.
be, and other people taking that credit is freaking not allowed to swear.
It's infuriating.
Yeah. So I guess one of the questions, one of the big questions for the whole series is how do you balance wanting to create stuff that you're genuinely passionate about against what you think will get exposure. But there's also a question that we're talking about right now in that how do you protect that, I guess. Do you have any thoughts about either of those, or?
I think, generally speaking, the best way you can protect it is by making yourself known. And because, like, if somebody knows you, they can help you take things down, essentially. If they see someone stealing your art, they will be able to help, like, essentially moderate with you. And I've seen a lot of it where, like, somebody posts something, I see it, I'm like, okay, this is cool. Who made this? And they have either the, like, information there, or if they're claiming it as their own, usually in the comments there's like one or two people who have already been like, hey, this isn't yours, this belongs to this or this person. And that's like a very comforting thought.
Yeah.
Is that, like, once you kind of like put yourself out there, your work will, like, people will always steal. I'm already kind of made my peace with it that there's probably a version of London Tale somewhere out there that's not credited to me, but like, people already know who I am and who makes it. And I don't entirely agree, but they say that I have a very particular style that is very easily noticeable. So that kind of protects me and my work in the sense that, like, people know who I am, so I don't have to worry if somebody takes my stuff because everybody knows who it belongs to. And somebody will take it down eventually.
Yeah. And I guess once you have established your style, I guess, that you're talking about, and also a bit of a following, it's almost... Do you think it's fair to say that you almost rely on the people who are fans of yours to kind of help you moderate that?
I try not to rely on people, but it is, like, I do know that there are, like, good people following me, and I know, I, like, trust that there are, if something happens, they'll tell me, or they will let them know, or let people know that this isn't who it belongs to, because in my opinion, a true fan is a person who, like, helps the creator they're a fan of. Which is, like, for instance, why I try to help with TwoAllNighters by providing art, or giving voice when I can, even though I'm not a voice actor, because I do want you guys to succeed. So, in my opinion, if you are a fan of something and you think you can help them in some way, then why not?
Yeah. That's a good question. I guess my immediate reflective answer to that is, oh, I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know if they even want me.
Oh, I feel that.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know why I'm here.
Like, yeah, it's just like, how have I managed to be a regular contributor to a channel with over 150,000 subscribers? Like,
Exactly.
sometimes it is a bit like, wow. I guess, is that something to some degree that you still struggle with, or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think at its extreme, it's called this Imposter Syndrome.
Yes.
Where you just, like, you don't believe that you deserve what you have. Because for whatever reason you believe that you've gotten there through accidental merit and not your own merits. And I try not to think about it. My general response to it is like, okay, brain, if you want to make me feel bad that I'm tricking people, then I am a trickster goddess, and I should be proud of myself for tricking them that well.
Yeah. And so I guess it sounds like you identify with this label of imposter syndrome.
Yeah, I had it pretty bad a couple years ago when I was still going to therapy.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't deserve anything. I don't deserve any, like, recognition. I draw, but like this, what I draw is terrible. I could do so much. I don't do as well as these other creators do. I don't know why they follow me or what they expect from me. And actually, same thing happens when I draw London Tale. Is like now that I'm a little bit more well known, I get nervous because I'm like, these people aren't gonna like the end of the story. They're gonna realize I'm a fraud. I don't know what I'm doing. The story is horrible, and like they only think it's good because they like Undertale, and Undertale is good. So therefore, they think I am good when I am not.
Do you understand that that's not true?
I try to understand. It's hard to accept and like vocally admit that, but I do understand to some degree that it's not the case.
What would your response be if I told you it's not true?
Meltdown. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so maybe one for later. Maybe one for later. Okay.
Maybe. I'm not ready to cry just yet.
That's okay. We can move on if that would make you feel comfortable.
I'm fine with anything, honestly. It's not a big deal. I just struggle with confidence.
Okay. We'll come back to that later. We've talked a bit about that. Okay. Do you consider the Pokemon work that you were doing earlier to be your big break in terms of gaining attention, gaining followers and stuff? Or do you credit that more to London Tale?
I think so. Generally speaking, I avoid thinking too much about the big break or whatever.
Okay.
Because like whatever you do, your audience will find you, and it doesn't matter like how good you don't think it is or something like that.
Yeah.
There will be people who find you and enjoy it regardless, and that's what's important. However, I did get a lot of confidence when that comic did well. I was like, oh, people actually like the way I write. Sorry. Oh, body burped.
No, that's okay.
So like you start a comic and you're like, okay, well, I'm just doing this for fun. That's all it is. And then people are like, oh, you do this really well. And then you realize like, oh, there's a lot of people, including people that I like admire myself, who like the stuff I make, which is like a huge confidence booster and really fun.
Yeah.
I see you writing in the chat there, but thanks.
I was every single time I talk to somebody, there's one quote there's like one thing that they say that I think is worth writing down. So I've just done that. I hope that's okay.
Nah, it's okay. It's all good. I was just like, I find it fun.
Yeah.
What was I saying? My brain, my ADHD is like overdrive.
Okay. We were talking about how there's no big break necessarily. There's just a building up of confidence, the building of an audience over time.
Yeah.
People who are willing to help you, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And with Wishful Crown, there was like, I noticed that a lot of people enjoyed what I was doing, and I was like, okay, well, this only applies to Pokemon, right? If I move my comic, if I do a comic about something entirely different, nobody will care. And to an extent, that was true, a little bit, but some people who liked that comic came over from it and enjoyed whatever I made next. And that's kind of how you build a community around yourself, generally speaking. And like, you can't guarantee that like the people who liked one of your works will like something else you make. And that's fine, because like everybody has their own interests and people grow out of their interests and back into others, and like all you have to do is do what you like to do, and if people like it, they like it. It's just important that you have fun and you're not like, because like I actually hate it when people say like, oh, I'm only doing this because it'll gain attention. Hate is a strong word, but it frustrates me when I see that, because like if you don't do what you like to do, you're essentially failing yourself, because it's not what you want. and you're not. Will eventually realize that you don't want to do it either.
Yeah.
And that's almost a bigger insult to your audience than, just not being interested in an old project anymore or something like that.
Yeah. So I guess that's a bit of an advisory against doing things out of a sense of obligation. Dr. Mech has just put another quote in the chat that I want to read, if that's okay. He says,
Yeah.
I don't know the key to success, but the key to failure is trying to please everyone.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a big one. That's huge.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
I
for that.
agree with that.
I guess it might be worth just briefly mentioning, if we could move on to the TwoAllNighters connection. You said that you wanted to contribute to the channel. How did you?
I try.
How did you find us? I'm not even sure I know
You and
this.
Blair.
Oh man. What was the context?
Blair... Sorry?
What was the context?
Well, I think it was either Dave or Blair that came to ask me if they could dub the series, and I was like, oh my gosh, of course you can dub it, because again, I'm making a comic, so obviously there's no auditory element.
Yeah.
But that kind of thing drives me insane. I love seeing my art given a voice.
Okay.
Because I can't do it. I'm not a voice actor. I don't have any understanding of audio and ambience and things like that. But when other people do it, I get to see what they interpret my comic as. And okay, I'm off topic a little bit, but I get to see that in action and see how they hear the things I write, which is an important thing as well, because sometimes when I draw expressions, my goal is that I can hear what the character is saying in my head.
Yeah.
So it's super interesting to me to hear how other people think my characters are talking. And it's so cool. Anyway.
No, it's...
Yeah, it was Dave.
It's really humbling to hear, because I guess I've asked previous artist guests in earlier episodes how they feel about comic dubbing in general. It sounds like you're really kind of complimentary about that. I guess.
Oh, I love that stuff.
That's really cool, because often I feel, well, we got permission from the artist to do this, but it doesn't feel like my work necessarily, because it's someone else's art.
Yeah, but it's its own art, because you're essentially... all art is taken from something else, or taking something else and making something new. And frankly, a lot of comic artists don't have the tools or the skill to make auditory input for their comics. So I find it it's both really cool and also just interesting to see what other people interpret from a different sense.
Yeah, totally.
Because the comic is obviously completely visual. You can't interact with it in any other way, but they're adding a new element to it that, okay, suddenly I can hear. Suddenly there's music and ambience and, there's a new world that I can experience through my ears instead of just through my eyes. And I think that's super cool.
Yeah, you're right. And it's also completely subjective in how the images are arranged and how the transitions work, and the stylistic choices as well as the auditory ones. And yeah, that makes me feel a bit better.
Okay, yeah. Because I noticed that a lot of dubs dubbers.
Yeah.
At least in TwoAllNighters, you guys get really nervous about if the creators will like it, and I promise you they always like it, because it's so much fun to see your characters get new life, because they're stale to us already. We've been drawing them so many times.
Yeah.
That it's interesting that they breathe a new life into them.
Okay. Well, thank you. That's really, really, really sweet of you. Wow. I feel topped up. That's awesome. Maybe just as we I mean, we said we'd take an hour. This is probably going to take longer than an hour, Wish. I'm sorry.
Oops.
I'm just really enjoying this. This is really cool. I'm having a lot of fun.
Yay. Me too.
Advice-wise, there's a number of comments that have come in. I haven't been able to answer all of them. Maybe it's worth asking for like more general advice. So, like you've given some great insight into how your creative process works, the challenges that you've been facing and the ways that you've overcome them. And just by way of disclaimer, you have totally overcome so many challenges, and it's amazing. Like it's motivating and it's inspiring. So well done.
Thank you.
Do you have any advice to anybody who's in the call in the stream?
Yes.
Sorry, it just feels like a freaking Discord server right now. But yeah, do you have any advice to anybody who might be thinking of starting? I think, who was it? Let me scroll up a bit. Was it Noki that said? Yeah, Noki says that she wants to try to do comics. Do you have any advice for Noki or anyone else in here who might be wanting to start their own webcomic?
Plan everything. No, I'm kidding. But you do need a certain like amount of skeletal work before you can start. I know, like, my best friend has this, I'm not sure if she would be comfortable. Oh, sorry. I'm not sure if they would be comfortable with me telling, about their personal things, but what they told me is that they need a very strict plan in order to be able to even start making a comic. And, that is usually smart. Having a full plan is incredibly helpful, but sometimes it depends on who you are. I can't work with a plan.
Oh wow.
I mean, I have a small plan, but I have to have wiggle room because I realize there are mistakes and then I need to improvise and fix them, which is why I usually have like a trajectory, a target, but the way I get there can change. So generally speaking, do what you want to do and then figure out who you are while doing it. Because that'll help you in the long run, is figuring out what works with you.
Awesome. So good. I'm gonna leave the gameplay there just so that I can focus a little bit better. I've been trying my best. Hopefully you feel, hopefully you feel listened to. And I feel listened to. I genuinely really found this fascinating, and it's been great to get a bit more of an insight into your creative process. And yeah, but just a couple more bits and pieces, and then we'll jump into the server and play some freaking Genshin or something. I don't know. Genshin. Oh yeah, that connects. So we've obviously talked about the specific artwork that you've done, the drawing, the comic, all that kind of element.
Yes.
I suppose it's worth saying, like, are you reading webcomics at the moment? Does that help you in terms of motivating you or keeping you inspired?
Sometimes. I'm currently not reading anything at the moment, but that's only because I haven't really found anything. That's still ongoing. Okay. I do like. I actually got my start from Tsubasa Chronicles, which is I don't know how to say their name, but it's CLAMP is the producer's name.
Okay.
They make really beautiful comics, and I used to like reading them a lot. So reading manga, reading, superhero comics or whatever you like will generally like give you ideas, but I wouldn't recommend what's the word? Mimicking too much.
Oh,
because that can cause problems.
Yeah,
as
totally.
I've learned.
Oh, really? Okay. Wow. What does that mean?
It's just people come after you if things are too similar, and it's like not something you can control. There will always be haters. You can't do anything about that, but there are ways to like minimize that kind of problem, which it's just you gotta be a little tough, but sometimes you can change an eye color and that'll already make a lot of a difference. Or actually, I shouldn't really say that, because there are like really good movies and stories that are basically the plot of a different story. But yeah, it's just
Okay.
I was trying to make a comic called Wayward Creed, and people kept yelling at me like, "No, this is just Undertale," and I'm like, "It's not," but all right.
Oh, it's so difficult, isn't it? When you're so inspired by something, and it
Yeah,
obviously does influence what you create. Of course, it does,
yeah,
because we're all the
and
product
it's
of our experiences and our passions.
exactly.
Um,
Uh, it
yeah.
literally came from a dream I had. The whole story came from a dream. So I was like, no, I swear, it is not Undertale. But there are similarities that just like set some people off, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
and I just laugh at it now because I don't really care about it anymore. But newer people might struggle with it because obviously you have to um gain that armor
Yeah.
through experience.
Okay. Something's just occurred to me. Like I asked you if you're reading anything at the moment, and obviously I'm not expecting you to start.
Hmm.
But a webcomic that I discovered a few years ago that I've recently restarted reading again because it's been years and it's updated loads, and I just wanted to go back to the beginning and read it again. It's called
Hmm.
Ava's Demon. Have you heard of it?
Uh, how did I know? How did I know?
Okay.
um,
So like there's something about the style of Ava's Demon, and there's something about the style of London Tale. Oh my god, I keep on calling it Undertale. Oh my god, London Tale. Just like I don't know, just in terms of like forgive me for saying this, but the heavy nature of some of the themes.
uh,
Um.
see, I haven't read Ava's Demon, and
Oh,
the
okay.
reason is actually something I told you earlier before the stream started is that I'm intimidated by it.
Oh
Um,
wow. Okay.
so, because I, first of all, I have to balance what I read and what I watch based on like my own emotional state, because I feel emotions a lot stronger than other people do,
Okay.
because again of the ADHD.
Yeah.
Um, it's so I'm like, okay, this comic looks heavy. I'll save it, but I'll read it another time. But then that keeps happening, and I never read it. But I've
Okay. That's
seen
fair enough.
like I've seen snippets of comic pages, and it's so beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
It's pretty full
I
on. It's pretty full on. That's fair. Um. I would say it is
yeah.
not for kids.
Oh yeah, it's
It is
I don't think
definitely not for kids.
I don't think it's very suitable for younger audiences. And yes, the author of Ava's Demon created Muffet from
Wait.
Undertale.
Wait. What?
Yeah,
Oh, hang on.
they
That
I
kind of
think I'm
that might be how I found Ava's Demon. Actually,
maybe
I forgot
it's
about that.
entirely possible.
Yeah.
I think they designed Muffet, and then
Uh,
I
Was
don't
it a
remember the
contest?
details.
There was a contest for characters to be included, and
Oh,
I think
yeah, there you
so.
go.
I think so.
The
That
kind of
vaguely. Yeah. Okay. All right.
what was
Is there anything
but
else? Oh, sorry. Keep going.
yeah,
Yeah, go for it.
oh yeah, the like I was just gonna say like the heavy themes are it's because I think I made a disclaimer in London Tale that a lot of it is a therapy for me
Yeah.
because I can't afford therapy right now, so I'm like, all right, let me explore my traumas in the form of a comic, which is totally healthy. Don't worry about it.
I mean, does it help you?
Yeah,
Then
well,
it
in some ways,
then it's healthy.
just yeah, because like I have nightmares often about things that I experienced or things that I went through. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna consciously deal with these so that I can sleep.
It's an unusual way of processing your feelings, but if it helps you process your feelings, then it helps.
Yeah. And maybe it'll help somebody else. I don't know.
I have a feeling the authenticity behind the themes and the art and the pages and the characters, the authenticity there, it will definitely help.
Oh, thank you. I'm
Absolutely.
glad.
We haven't talked about the fact that obviously TwoAllNighters is planning to dub London Tale, and yeah, I've been casted as a character I'd rather not play. I
I don't blame you.
yeah, it's an interesting experience. It is pretty much the first time that I've ever voiced a character that I really just don't like. Even
Oh,
even when voicing villains in the past, like
hmm
you most villains are just they tend to be people that are just so bombastically evil and generic that you just kind of really get into it, and it's easy to kind of disassociate from any
what they're
real
saying.
malice, right? But there's a character in London Tale that is just so very how do I put this?
Revolting.
Yeah, revolting in every way. Just the epitome of I guess, without spoiling too much, toxic masculinity.
Oh yeah. The
and
funny thing is they're based on someone I used to know, and I'm like, oh god, I'm glad I'm not the only one who sees this.
Yeah, it must be. Is it validating to like get so much
A little
feedback
bit.
on the character? And
Yes.
because I can imagine, like, if there's any connection between the plot of this story and any of your real life experience, that must be so isolating, and you must spend time thinking, am I just overreacting?
Oh, absolutely. That's why I write I try to write characters that or villains that nobody else sees as a villain except your character, because that's just an experience that I'm used to.
Yeah, totally. And it's just I guess in voicing that character, the reality of how some men are just becomes a little bit more real to me, and it just makes my skin crawl, and my heart goes out to women, full stop.
Oh,
It's like an experience I had earlier in life, like in my early 20s, where my younger sister, who was training to be a doctor at the time, was just like, oh yeah, this happens all the time. Men are complete creeps.
Oh yeah.
Like sometimes multiple times a day, and I'm just there, just like, I'm so freaking fortunate to, and I felt so ignorant and just like, it's just mad. Apologies.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I my heart really goes out, and I get so frustrated on your behalf. Sorry. Let's move on because I'm gonna go.
It's all right. It's all right.
But yeah, really, it's great that you're creating something that is emotive and that is causing these kinds of reflections to happen. Particularly, actually, for the young men that are going to be reading it. I hope that it's something that young men will read and think, oh God, I don't want to be like that.
Oh God, I hope so too.
if there's like a positive impact that the comic has, like, my fingers, all of my digits are crossed for that to be the outcome.
Bless all my paw toes too. I'm not a furry. Don't look at me like that.
Oh right. Apparently Ava's Demon author who gave us Muffet, that was a stretch goal for the Kickstarter, so a backer award. That was how they got that included, which makes all the sense in the world. Kilia, I'm sorry that you're having buffering issues. It's awkward because I'm not seeing any on my side. Hopefully it's not too bad. I don't know.
Refreshing might help.
Refreshing might help. Yeah. There's one more thing to do. We've run over, but I don't care. Yes. I'm going to paste a word of my own invention into our DMs on Discord. I will also throw it onto the stream. Welcome to the Dob Nobble Challenge. To close tonight, read that word, one attempt, off you go.
Okay. Dyslexia, go away, please.
Oh no! I immediately feel terrible.
No, don't worry, I'm fine. Incredible dabble double. Holy crap, I'm lost already. Bibble bad dibble dribble drab drabba dabba dibble double dobby dub nobble.
Nice. A high quality take. Very, very impressive. Thank you. And don't forget, back home, you can join us by reading that word in the chat right now. Great. Well, with that brings our... That's flown by. That was an hour.
It doesn't feel like...
No, it doesn't. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. I feel like I got some real insight into what you do, how you do it. And
I'm glad.
yeah, thank you so much for everything that you've done. Like in terms of the comic, yes, but also for TwoAllNighters as well. It's really encouraging that you're here, that you're helping, and what you said
Thank
earlier
you for
about
having me.
yeah, totally. That's thank you. And what you were saying earlier about being willing to offer to help, like that's a takeaway. Like if you're in chat and if you are passionate about a project, expressing that can go such a long way.
Yeah.
So
Like, you guys don't know how meaningful it is when you make something or you see, or sorry, when you make something or you post something and, like, there's, like, people saying, like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, or, like, I like this detail about it. It's, like, especially the ones with, like, pointing out details. Those are my bread and butter, my guys.
wow, oh man, I will bear that in mind. You're working on a page this evening, aren't you?
Yeah. I thought I was like, I could finish it, but before the stream was like, I was a fool. That would not happen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've been
No,
distracting you from your work.
No! I already made like another page. I just didn't realize I could do London Tale. I was like, wait, I could do this, but no, it's fine. I'm gonna finish it today.
Yeah.
And like link people to this stream if they want to watch it in like afterwards.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you. And,
Yeah.
best of luck with it. You have our support. We believe in you.
Oh, thanks. That's very nice.
Cool. If there isn't anything else, then we are going to jump over to the TwoAllNighters fan server. Just
Heck yeah.
find the call that has people in it. There's loads of different VCs. We'll jump in somewhere. And maybe we'll play something. It will be really, really great to say hi if you have the time. Thank you so much for watching.
Join us.
It's, what we have here isn't the biggest thing in the world, but I do enjoy it very, very much. Thank you. Thank you. We'll see you there. And, the next stream is not in next week, the week after, 24th of July. So we're trying to aim to this to be every 2 weeks. Every other week.
Yeah.
Sometimes it mixes up a little bit, as I said earlier about the depending on who can make what time, what day. But yeah, we'll jump over to the fan server now. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you guys, and join us next time for the Fandom Lives. Oh, no.